Hello and welcome to Wasted Plotential, where we discuss the wasted potential of our favourite plotlines. I have a similar bone to pick with the Marvel anime that I did with Batman Ninja. This was a collaboration between Marvel and Studio Madhouse, producing 4 12-episode series and 2 movies. The movies are just animated movies and nothing worth talking about at all. The series, however, are set in Japan, but they're just the most basic bitch Marvel stories set in Japan. Iron Man, a businessman in the tech sector, goes to Japan, an adaptation of Wolverine's canonical history with Japan. The X-Men go to recruit a Japanese mutant and fight the U-Men of all people. Blade hunts vampires in Japan. They're such nothing concepts. If Batman Ninja could happen to most Batman incarnations, these shows could absolutely happen to any version of these characters. Early trailers for Iron Man and Wolverine suggested they were going to be much more out there with the anime influence, but it was toned down significantly for the final product. The unique opportunity of collaborating with such a famous Japanese animation studio should have been used to make something more uniquely Japanese. The shows don't strictly have to reimagine the characters as being Japanese, but the story should be more than just putting an existing Marvel character in Japan. Really draw on what the Japanese like. For example, Iron Man already had the perfect setup for this. The premise is that Tony is planning to retire as Iron Man and is setting up a team of Iron Men in Japan. However, the project is sabotaged and Tony drops the idea at the end of episode 1. Why not go all in on that? Tony, or a Japanese equivalent, is making a team of heroes with Iron Man suits, each with a distinct colour and primary weapon. One uses lasers, one uses explosives, and of course, the red-clad leader has an energy sword because the Japanese love that shit. Imagine a Sentai team of Iron Men and women. Tony is the mentor and 6th Ranger who is forced back into action in the second half of the series to help the team, maybe with some backup in the finale from Rhodey and Pepper. Sounds cool, right? Next, instead of just the X-Men going to recruit armor and then staying in Japan because that's the writing prompt of the project, we embrace another of Japan's deep fascinations. No, not that one. High school. A ton of young mutants have been popping up in Japan recently, so Professor X has a new school set up in the country, with Japanese or Japanese-speaking X-Men, Wolverine, Psylocke and Sunfire being asked to run the school and teach these young mutants. The main cast then are the likes of Surge, Armor, Sunfire, Kirika Yashida, Yukio and the token human, Amiko Kobayashi. Yes, the entire main cast is female, but it's really hard to find a Japanese Marvel character who is heroic and male, or not tied to the X-Men for that matter. It's bizarre. Maybe you could reimagine some obscure characters like Base as teenagers to balance things out. The antagonists are also Japanese, like Lady Deathstrike, Silver Samurai, Quanon, and Pestilence from Uncanny X-Force. Maybe the final arc or one of the movies sees the mentors turn into Apocalypse's other 3 horsemen and the kids have to beat them like in Young Justice. Anyway, the show could either have the kids balancing normal high school life with mutant academy life, a la X-Men Evolution, or just the academy stuff. The show could have been Hero Aka before Hero Aka, and Logan's history with Japan could be explored in one episode or one of the movies, instead of making 50% of the project's TV content feature Logan as a main character. The third show, for a laugh, could be a harem parody focused on Spider-Man, with the harem being his various love interests reimagined as Japanese high school archetypes. MJ is the childhood friend, Felicia is the Ojo, Cindy is the shy Kohai, I know she didn't exist yet, shut up, and Gwen is the popular girl Peter initially has a crush on. More serious concepts are Spidey attending or teaching at a Japanese high school, be he Peter Parker or a Japanese equivalent, or you get the rights to make a sequel to the Spider-Man Tokusatsu series with that Spidey training a team of successors. And the fourth show is simply Marvel Showcase, each episode following a different Marvel hero who can have the more basic hero goes to Japan premise because they don't really have a strong enough concept to justify a full show. Here are a few examples. Blade gets 1 episode for his basic show concept instead of 12. Punisher pursues some Yakuza back to Japan and neither they nor the Tokyo police are anywhere near prepared for the carnage he'll unleash. Captain America meets a Japanese soldier in World War II who helps him free some American POWs from his own side because that's a place no one wants to be. Daredevil and Elektra fight the Hand on their home turf. Hulk fights a big monster in Japan and it's basically a Godzilla movie starring the Hulk. And Big Hero 6 get their own episode as well. Either that or each episode is a new Japanese reimagining of one of the heroes. Something along these lines would have been way more interesting than just sending the characters on bog standard trips to Japan that wouldn't be out of place in Earth 616. Really, the best thing to come from this entire project was the anime design for Storm, which is the best she's ever had. Fuck your Mohawk crap, this is Peak Ororo, and if you disagree, you're wrong. If you liked this video, why not subscribe and support me on Patreon like these fine people here? If not, then make sure to share it with your enemies so they can suffer along with you.